We spent the last 400 days traveling through some of the most dangerous countries in the world.
We are in Iraq!
We are in Iran.
We are in Pakistan.
And in this video, we're going to share with you 5 scariest travel stories that happened to us on this journey. Oi! Come back! And I just have to add that all of the stories are based on our experiences and they don't represent the countries they happened in. Now let's go. I think one more checkpoint and we are in Iraq. Our first adventure could be called a true cliché. It's a situation we read about on the news almost daily, yet luckily, very few of us have actually seen it up close. By this time, we had spent about 7 days in the northern part of Iraq, and even in this short time, we realized that this country is much safer and more welcoming than we could have ever hoped. Everybody is super nice, super sweet to us, and we feel so welcome. Just while saying this, somebody on the side of the road was welcome, welcome. Yet this particular morning started differently.
Come to Iraq, they said. It will be hot, they said.
It will be desert, they said. Such rain does not happen often in Iraq. And moreover, we had heard thunder all through the night. As we started our wet drive through the countryside, it soon became clear that there was more to this weather. We were stopped for a passport control in one of the many military checkpoints. And suddenly, we felt the earth shake below our feet, followed by a loud bang. Not sure if you guys heard it, but another bang, and this one we felt like a shake. Our hearts filled with fear as we realized that this was no thunder. While we were waiting in this checkpoint, we heard 3 explosions. It was bombs, exploding just kilometers away, and we had heard them for more than 12 hours. The only thing keeping us from freaking out was the reaction of the checkpoint officers. They remained calm. The guys told us that it's Turkish army shooting at PKK, which is like the Kurdish terrorist organization.
Let's go! Let's go!
Nevertheless, we left this place as fast as humanly possible and learned the hard way that peace and safety should never be taken for granted. Well, the first one started with a bang, but believe it or not, the second story shocked us even more. While traveling through Eastern Europe, we were on a mission. Our plan was to film the Soviet architecture that is so common to this part of the world. And while flying a drone over the second biggest city of Slovakia, we suddenly saw a weird neighborhood. Compared to the rest of the city, this place looked different, much more worn down, and so we figured that it has to be abandoned. It sounded too good to be true, as in such a place we could probably film the buildings even from inside. Yet as we took the turn towards this neighborhood, it quickly became clear that it was far from abandoned. Quite the opposite. It was home to thousands. And suddenly, things started happening. Without warning, a group of youngsters approached our car. Hello. Some of them tried to stop us, while the others pulled on the car's doors, attempting to break in. We panicked. All of this happened in a matter of seconds, and the only thing clear was the fact that we had driven into a very wrong neighborhood. Yet even in a state of panic, we managed to think clearly. It took us about 2 minutes to find our way out again. I got scared.
Oh, scared.
And there, at the entrance, we stopped for the last time, so that the last of the teenagers, who so far was still trying to get in through the back door, could go his own way. We literally had a guy holding on to our van the whole time. Holy crap!
That's a lot of excitement for one day.
Later on, we learned that this place was Lunik 9, also known as the worst ghetto in Europe. And never again will we assume a location is safe without researching it first. That might have not been the best idea. What happened to us in Lunik 9 perfectly shows why we shouldn't group countries as dangerous and not dangerous. Every country in the world has bad and good parts, and even in a safe place like Slovakia, you're able to get in trouble if you make as bad decisions as we did. Yet now, let's go and have a look how do Pakistani prisons look from within. Our third story begins on a border of Iran and Pakistan. It's a strange part of the world where it's common to see people carrying weapons and whole fields filled with landmines. There's a sign about landmines. Apparently for security reasons. Crossing this border was no easy feat. More than just a regular passport and vehicle check. It included a 1.5-hour interview with Iranian secret police. We were just interviewed, all of our social medias, our families, our jobs, everything about us, our fingerprints was put to system. But what waited on the other side of this border was even harder to comprehend.
We are in Pakistan. Whee!
This part of the country, called Balochistan, is deemed dangerous for tourists. And it meant that our every move was to be overlooked by an armed police escort. So in a few minutes we're gonna start driving towards our next destination. The journey through Balochistan is over 1,000 kilometers long. And most of the time we were moved from one police station to another. One thing I definitely cannot get used to staying in this police station is that just behind me are prisoners. So that's kinda unusual. But some of them were really nice. The guys inside the cell just gave us dates. It's a little bit weird because I guess usually other people bring them stuff, but still pretty cool. But what made this adventure scary and challenging was the total loss of control over our own lives.
Nobody tells us when it's gonna stop. We're gonna get no information. We're here, we're waiting to be escorted somewhere, but we don't know because nobody tells us anything.
Our every move was decided by local police officers, and due to the language barrier, their decisions remained a mystery. For many mornings in a row, we were told that the escort was almost done. Yet each night, we found ourselves in another police station.
It's been 7 days and nobody tells us when it's gonna stop.
Altogether, this journey lasted for 7.5 days. And due to this, we now know what it means to lose our freedom and to be fully dependent on someone else's will. Without joking, this has to be one of the strangest stories of our lives. Yet now, from the empty Pakistani desert, let's jump into one of the most crowded places on our planet. Our fourth story takes place on the Indian subcontinent, and more precisely in Uttar Pradesh, the most populated state of India. With around 240 million people living in this one state alone, it is a place where things just tend to happen. It's a one-line highway again. I've had enough. Look at those guys. I could tell you many stories of how we almost found our end in this crazy traffic. Getting here was not that easy. We literally had 5 small car crashes. But to have a place on our list, the situation we went through was even more unbelievable. Namaste. For hours, we had been driving through the countryside, looking for a place to spend the night. And finally, it happened. A perfect spot right on the river, near a town called Saravasti. There was no houses in sight, and in the evening we just saw a few shepherds that happened to pass by. Yet as the night fell, once again things started happening. Two guys just walked by, saw that it's a foreign car, and they wrote on a random piece of paper a parking charge. Like, there's 1,000 ways how locals try to get money out of us, but that's something new. I'll just go and film them. That's for the police, yes. Picture for the police. Well, this clearly did not work. But things didn't get any better in the morning. Word of our location had started spreading. We just finished our morning yoga, and there's nearly 10 people over there under that tree, just watching us, watching our every move. And suddenly, dozens of locals started arriving on tuk-tuks. I guess our entourage found courage to come closer. They stayed for a few hours, didn't say a word, just looked at us and took pictures. Throughout the day, there must have been around 200 people who came by our van. And even local police officers couldn't refuse the urge to ask for a picture. It's just fascinating how privacy and personal space is seen in different parts of the world. And I think on this day, we learned what it actually means to be famous, to constantly live in the spotlight, and to be treated like a zoo animal. This morning, Liisu just started crying in the van. She had had enough. Her nerves broke. Before we break down our last crazy story, I quickly want to say thank you to our Patreon community. There's no big sponsors on this channel, and we try to keep the ad breaks to bare minimum. So your support literally keeps us on the road. And if you would also like to receive extra behind the scenes content from, well, adventures like this, there's more information in the description below. But now, let's take you behind the Iron Curtain, into Iran during the anti-government protests. Visiting Iran during the current turmoil is once again an experience like no other. Our friend just came back and he brought me clothes. It's crazy. On one hand, this country is truly amazing, full of kind people and beautiful sights. Yet at the same time, not a single day went by without us worrying about their safety in the light of the strict government rules. This is a police station, so pretty much filming from this angle could send us straight to jail. Wearing a headscarf incorrectly can land you in prison. And on one occasion, even the camera roll of our phones was checked by local law enforcement. They probably wanted to make sure that we were not Western spies. Yet the situation that really got to us happened near the end of our stay. We were parked on the southern coast of this country, when suddenly the weather turned. In a matter of hours, we were hopelessly stuck, literally in the middle of nowhere.
I'm digging a trench.
Yet, just like flies on a fresh pile of, well, let's say honey, the problems kept on coming. This weather continued on the next day, making our escape even more unlikely. I don't know why it always happens to us. And to top it all off, our visa was running out of days. Actually, I do know. This guy. We got 3 days left on our Iran visa. Throughout our stay in this country, we had heard stories about foreigners being arrested, mostly on made-up charges. And no way did we want to give the police a real reason to lock us up. Yet with every passing hour, this reason was getting closer. This second day stuck on that beach was a low point for us.
I can't handle this.
Yet on the third morning, things again changed. Rains have passed, it's once again sun, so we have hope to get out today. Isn't it just a good day to be digging?
Hello, niisliipimad.
And somehow we were found and saved by a local couple. I still don't know how they found us in this place. Yet thanks to the help of Hossein and Sepida, we somehow even managed to make it to the visa office on time. Or well, almost on time. To sum it up, the situation is that our passports were taken away from us and we are stuck in a Iran city. But that's a story for another time. Friends, as you just saw, a lot can happen if you travel for 400 days straight. Many times on this journey, we felt stuck. We felt like there was no way forward. Yet, just as the last story demonstrated, human kindness and willingness to help others knows no borders. In a weird way, it even seems that people in the countries that are deemed dangerous and bad were the kindest and most hospitable towards us. Honestly, such things just don't happen in Western culture. I can't believe it. We wanted to buy and the gentlemen were just like, no, your money is no good here.
They say present, no problem.
Once again, they do not accept our money. I can't believe this. It literally says foreigners get free diesel. I don't know how is that possible. But what do you think? Is kindness and willingness to help strangers somehow connected to where you are from, or even the amount of hardships we have seen in our own lives? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, guys. Bye.